Hello everybody, my name is Nerdy Lover and welcome back to another episode of our football betting series here on YouTube. Premier League edition. We had a week's hiatus from the Premier League due to the FA Cup, which did provide us an entertaining distraction from domestic league football, but now it's back, so without further ado, with the new month of February, can we continue our winning record in the Premiership and our 80% win rate? Let's jump into the selections and find out. Kicking things off with 10th place Chelsea hosting 7th place Fulham. And Chelsea's most recent game finished goalless against Liverpool, a game which they probably would have been happy to take a draw beforehand, but perhaps left Anfield feeling a little bit like they could have taken all 3 points, as Kai Havertz scored after 4 minutes, but this goal was chalked off. And Chelsea also, when we look at the stats, came out head-to-head on expected goals, 1.65 compared to Liverpool's 1.4. In this game, Chelsea also recorded 4 key chances, but failed to convert all 4, and this has really been the problem that they have experienced this season without a recognisable number 9 in the box. Consequently, Chelsea's form has been pretty poor, and they would have hoped for Champions League football this season. They have 1 win from just their last 6 games, and not scored more than a single goal in any of their matches in January. However, Chelsea picked up 4 points in their last 2 games, and we're hoping to maybe start a turn in form now. Statistically, Chelsea score 1.1 goals per game from 2 key chances created per 90. Defence is okay, 1.1 goals against with 7 clean sheets in 20 league games so far. The away side Fulham were held to a draw most recently in their match against Sunderland in the FA Cup. That game will go to a replay that will be played the midweek after this match. This does now represent 3 games without a win for the Cottagers, the other 2 games being 1-0 losses to the likes of Newcastle and Spurs, so nothing too much to be dissatisfied with from the Fulham fans. Statistically, Fulham do score 1.5 goals per game from 1.8 key chances created per 90. Their defence is pretty average for the league, 1.4 goals against, but just 5 clean sheets in 21 appearances. Additionally, they have no clean sheets in each of their last 4 consecutive games. When we look at the head-to-head record, Fulham did manage to beat Chelsea in the reverse fixture at the start of the month of January, although this was in part due to João Felix's red card on his debut. In truth, it was more Chelsea losing than Fulham winning, as they did manage to outcreate, outshoot, and have a higher XG than their visitors today. A similar performance and no red card for João Felix, I would easily see that result reversed, with Chelsea winning. Additionally, prior to this season, Chelsea won each of the last 7 competitive encounters in a row, scoring first in 7 of the last 8 matches. I think Chelsea can turn things around here against a West London rival. Chelsea to win in the first bet of the episode. Next up, we have 19th place Everton hosting league-leading Arsenal. And Everton's most recent defeat against West Ham did lead to the almost inevitable departure of Frank Lampard, a decision that was frankly in the just a matter of time in the making. Everton, in their most recent game, were outclassed by West Ham, but Lampard did not lose his job based on this single result. It's been a bad run of form, as Everton have lost each of their last 4 games, and they have no win in their last 10, a record dating back to October. The Toffees score 0.8 goals per game, despite creating a pretty average 1.4 key chances per 90. Defence, pretty average as well, 1.4 goals against, 4 clean sheets in their last 20 appearances. And it's this defensive record which new manager Sean Dyche would like to address. As with the return of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and the departure of Anthony Gordon, Everton's attacking powers are on the rise. If Dyche can just improve the defence, maybe get a few more clean sheets on the board, the Toffees should be safe at the end of the season. They do have some tricky games coming up with Liverpool next week, but Arsenal this week, and the visitors come in following their defeat to Manchester City in the FA Cup with a delightful finish from Nathan Ake. This does end a 7-game unbeaten stretch for Arsenal, but the Gunners of London are scoring 2.4 goals per game from 2.7 key chances created per 90. Their defensive record is frankly immaculate, 0.8 goals against and 9 clean sheets in 19 league matches. When we look at the head-to-head record, Arsenal won the last game, but Everton, perhaps surprisingly, have won 3 of the last 4. History can always be an indicator, but I feel that Sean Dyche won't have quite enough time to make sure Everton are ready to stop this impressive Arsenal front line. Another angle to explore here is that Everton are one of the worst sides from home this season, and they face Arsenal, who are one of the best away teams, picking up 25 from a possible 30 points on their travels. I feel like this is a simple tap-in here, Arsenal to win in our second bet. Our third selection sees 17th place Wolverhampton Wanderers hosting 9th place Liverpool, and with no action in the FA Cup this week, Wolves would have had 2 full weeks to prepare for this match against Liverpool. We have to go back a couple of weeks for their most recent result, and that was a 3-0 loss to Manchester City and Erling Haaland scoring another hat-trick. He's gone on to break Sergio Aguero's club record, but if we focus on Wolves for a second, they have only won 1 of the last 7 matches, failing to beat Liverpool twice in this stretch in the FA Cup. Statistically, Wolves score a very worrying 0.6 goals per game, creating 1.1 key chances per 90. Their defence could also be better, 1.5 goals against and 5 clean sheets in 20 appearances. The away side, Liverpool, make no mistake, they're not having the best season. A little bit similar to Chelsea, a lot of people would have predicted the Reds to finish in the top 4, and 9th is pretty unacceptable. Liverpool lost again in the FA Cup against Brighton this weekend. A scrappy affair, and Liverpool didn't really create enough clear chances. Gakpo and Nunez struggling up top to find space and convert any opportunities. For Liverpool, shows 1 win in their last 6 games. Although one maybe silver lining here is that 1 victory did come against Wolves in the FA Cup. Statistically in the league, Liverpool are scoring 1.8 goals per game from 3.2 key chances per 90. Defensively, 1.3 goals against and 5 clean sheets in 20. From this, it looks like Liverpool are creating enough chances to win, but they're simply struggling to finish right now. The Scousers will be praying that Darwin Nunez can find his Benfica form, but it appears he left that back in Portugal. When we look at the head-to-head records, Liverpool are unbeaten in their last 9 encounters against Wolves, winning 8 of these, the exception here being the FA Cup draw in early January. Looking more recently, over the 2 games played this season, Liverpool have just about edged the possession, 53 to 47, but Liverpool generates a higher volume of shots than Wolves, with more attempts on target as well. I'm thinking that Liverpool surely must start winning games against a side that's hovering around the relegation zone, a side that they have beaten once already this season. The only thing that's giving me a little bit of pause for thought is Liverpool's mid-table away form, so I'm going to temper things here with a half stake, Liverpool to win on the road. Our fourth and final selection for today's episode sees 5th place Tottenham Hotspurs hosting 2nd place Manchester City. And perhaps predictably, Spurs managed to comfortably pass Preston in their FA Cup match, winning this game by 3-0. And this result would have been a welcome distraction for the Lily Whites if they have only won 1 of their last 3 Premier League fixtures. Statistically, Spurs are scoring 1.9 goals per game from 2 key chances created per 90. Defence 1.5 goals against and 6 clean sheets in 21. The away side, Manchester City, managed to beat Arsenal 1-0 in the Cup, as touched upon in a previous selection. Manchester City have responded well to the defeats against their rivals Man United, ripping off a quick 3-win streak, including a comeback victory against today's hosts. Manchester City are scoring 2.6 goals per game from 3.6 key chances created per 90. Their defence is very solid as well. 1 goal against per game, 8 clean sheets in 20 matches. When we look at the head-to-head record, we've obviously got to reflect on the most recent victory for Manchester City, as they did come back from 2-0 down at half-time to defeat Spurs by 4-2. However, when we look at the season before, Spurs managed to take 6 points from a side that would go on to be the eventual league winners. Looking at the numbers behind these scorelines, though, and it does appear to be a bit of a mismatch, Manchester City averaged 70% possession, winning the shots battle by 39 to 19. Shots on target, though, is the difference. 8-8 was a tie, and key chances created per 90 was also 5 each. In many respects, Manchester City were highly wasteful last season across these 2 games, and I suggest that the numbers will eventually bear out. Manchester City should be able to convert more of their many chances compared to Spurs' few clinical chances. City to win away from home is the final bet of today's episode. So there we have it, 4 selections this weekend. Starting off on the Friday night as Chelsea host Fulham, we will be taking Chelsea to win. Odds of 6/10, £20 stake to return at 12.60. 2 selections on the Saturday, starting off with Everton Arsenal. We'll be backing the away side for a full stake at odds of about 1-2, £20 to return 9. For the 3 o'clock kickoffs, we're going to be taking another away team, that's Liverpool against Wolverhampton. Odds of 9/10, just a half stake because of Liverpool's poor away form. £10 to return 9.20. Wrapping up with the Sunday match, we have Spurs versus Man City. Odds of about 4-5, a £20 stake to return almost £16. So, across our 4 selections, we are going to be risking £70 to hopefully pick up 4660. Will we do so? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune into next episode. But if you have made it to this point in the video, please drop a like down below. My name's been Nerdy Lover, and as always, have yourself a lovely day.